There's a wild beast in all of us, and I'm just the madman unleashing it. Stirring chaos is my art. When you think of Ozzy Osbourne, you see the Prince of Darkness, the bat-biting legend whose 5-decade reign over heavy metal blends groundbreaking riffs with unapologetic swagger.
It's like I think there's a wild man in everybody, you know. It's like all I am is a conductor of mayhem. I like to see people get...
Beyond the reality TV antics and infamous headlines lies a musician with a ruthless standard for authenticity, one that sparked fiery feuds with bands he deemed unworthy. Ozzy could torch a band with a single glare. Longtime guitarist Jake E. Lee once said, his rants were as heavy as his riffs. From backstage clashes to public jabs, these grudges reveal Ozzy's fierce defense of metal's soul. Today, we're counting down the 6 bands that reportedly landed on Ozzy's blacklist.
I mean, okay, take it for instance. They're putting every gig I do.
Culminating in a feud that still reverberates through heavy metal history. Number 1 will blow you away. Mötley Crüe kicking off at number 1 is Mötley. Crüe, the glam metal hedonists whose excessive antics during a shared 1984 tour with Ozzy Osbourne ignited a complex and ironic feud.
Outrageous, and Ozzy would top us, and then we would top him, and it was going back and forth throughout the tour. And
the tour, infamous for its debauchery, saw both acts vying to outdo each other's chaos. But Ozzy, per Mötley Crüe bassist Nikki Sixx's autobiography, saw their behavior as performative rather than genuine. These blokes are acting like rebels for the cameras. Ozzy reportedly told his road manager, "I don't play crazy, I live it." The notorious ant-snorting incident where Ozzy allegedly challenged Sixx wasn't camaraderie but a flex to prove his unmatched intensity. Per tour photographer Gene Kirkland, she overheard Ozzy backstage saying, "I was banned from countries while these Hollywood lads were still in school." Musically, as Mötley Crüe shifted to glam with Theater of Pain and Girls, 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 Ozzy's disdain grew. An engineer who worked on both Ozzy's The Ultimate Sin and Crüe's Theater of Pain said Ozzy, after hearing a Crüe track, tossed the cassette snarling, "They've gone from edgy to bloody laughable." This feud, rooted in authenticity versus spectacle, showed Ozzy's refusal to endorse manufactured rebellion. Judas Priest, at number 2, is Judas Priest, the British metal pioneers whose rivalry with Ozzy Osbourne became one of heavy metal's most explosive feuds, fueled by competition and personal betrayal. Rock historian Eddie Trunk notes the tension sparked in the late 1970s as Priest's rise overlapped with Black Sabbath's struggles. Ozzy, per Trunk, told confidants, "They're climbing over me while I'm down." The rift deepened when Priest hired guitarist KK Downing, whom Ozzy had eyed for his solo band, performer manager Don Arden. Ozzy, enraged, allegedly smashed a hotel TV, yelling, "They're stealing my bloody team!" The feud peaked at 1986's Monsters of Rock Festival, where sources claim Priest's Rob Halford made snide remarks about Ozzy's vocals within earshot. Guitarist Phil Soussan said Ozzy, furious, had to be restrained, shouting, "I created the sound you're writing, you leather-clad wannabe." Both bands avoided shared festival bills for years, and when asked about Priest's Rock Hall induction in recent times, Ozzy reportedly scoffed, "Awards are bollocks, I've been headbanging with real fans since they were stitching their leather." This clash, blending professional rivalry and personal slights, cemented Ozzy's protective grip on his metal legacy. Guns N' Roses, taking the 3rd spot is Guns N' Roses, a band whose promising opening slot on Ozzy Osbourne's 1988 No Rest for the Wicked tour soured into one of rock's bitterest feuds. Initially a mentor to the upstarts, Ozzy's patience frayed, per guitarist Jake E. Lee, due to Axl Rose's constant tardiness. "They're not wild, they're just a bloody hassle," Ozzy reportedly told Lee. The breaking point hit during a Philadelphia show when Rose kept fans waiting nearly 2 hours. Tour manager Tim Collins said Ozzy stormed their dressing room, roaring that they disrespected him, the audience, and rock itself. Guns N' Roses were allegedly dropped from the tour the next day. As their fame skyrocketed, Ozzy grew critical of what he saw as their shift to calculated rebellion. In a 1992 Rolling Stone interview, he remarked, "Some bands start raw, then fame turns them into what they swore they'd never be." Insiders knew he meant Rose. When Slash briefly joined Ozzy's band in 1995, drummer Randy Castillo recalled Ozzy probing Slash about Axl nightly, chuckling, "I've been called mad, but that bloke makes me look saintly, even after Guns." And Rose's reunion, Ozzy reportedly told mates, "Reunions are for bands out of steam. I've never stopped rocking." This feud, rooted in professionalism and authenticity, burned bright. Bon Jovi at number 4 is Bon Jovi, the 1980s glam metal giants whose glossy anthems and MTV dominance drew Ozzy Osbourne's scorn for embodying commercial rock's shallowness. While Bon Jovi conquered stadiums, Ozzy, battling personal demons and crafting albums like The Ultimate Sin, saw them as a symbol of music's plastic turn. Jake E. Lee recalled Ozzy ranting, "They're like bloody accountants with guitars. Grins, no grit." Tensions flared at the 1987 Moscow Music Peace Festival, where sources say Ozzy was irked by John Bon Jovi's polished stage act, muttering, "This isn't rock, it's a sodding Broadway show." During a German TV special that year, crew noticed Ozzy steering clear of Bon Jovi's camp. Producer Max Norman, who worked with both, said Ozzy believed rock should provoke, not pacify, viewing Bon Jovi as musical porridge, nice but spineless. Musically, Ozzy's Sabbath-rooted darkness clashed with Bon Jovi's pop metal accessibility. In a 1990s interview, when asked about 80s hair bands, Ozzy reportedly sighed, "Some acts thought a perm and a smile made them metal, bollocks." Fans knew he meant Bon Jovi, highlighting his disdain for style over substance. Limp Bizkit landing at number 5 is Limp Bizkit, the nu metal provocateurs whose rap rock antics at 1998's Ozfest sparked a feud with Ozzy Osbourne that epitomized metal's generational divide. Fred Durst's brash demands and stage theatrics clashed with Ozzy's vision of metal, per sources close to his camp. Backstage, Ozzy was overheard snapping, "What's this bloody nonsense? They're bouncing like chimps. Where's the music?" The remark reached Durst, igniting a lasting rift. In a 2001 Metal Hammer interview, Ozzy vented, "Some bands think yelling and a backwards cap equals metal. That's not music, it's racket. No craft, no soul." Though unnamed, insiders knew he targeted Limp Bizkit. Ozzy's Sabbath-honed blend of haunting vocals and intricate guitars stood worlds apart from Limp Bizkit's simplistic riffs and rap samples. Witnesses at Ozfest saw Ozzy watching their set with a scowl, and Sharon Osbourne reportedly pushed to downplay their role in future lineups. When Durst later called Ozzy past it on radio, Ozzy, per journalist Dave Everly, told his crew that cap-wearing git wouldn't know metal if it smacked him. In 2019, reflecting on nu metal, Ozzy reportedly said, "Some trends belong in the grave." This clash underscored his fierce loyalty to metal's roots. Kiss topping the list at number 6 is Kiss, the theatrical rock icons whose makeup and pyrotechnics fueled a decades-long feud with Ozzy Osbourne over metal's essence. Tensions began in the mid-1970s as Kiss's spectacle-heavy shows outshone Black Sabbath's struggles. Per rock journalist Martin Popoff, Ozzy allegedly griped, "They've turned rock into a bloody pantomime, clowns with axes." The rift grew personal in the early 1980s when Kiss's Gene Simmons at a label event offered Ozzy marketing tips, per tour manager Bobby Thompson. Ozzy shot back, "I sell music, mate, not sodding toys." This highlighted their core divide, Ozzy's raw, dark sound versus Kiss's accessible anthems and larger-than-life personas. Producer Max Norman recalled Ozzy hearing a Kiss album and saying, "Not a shred of real feeling in it. All flash, no heart." The feud simmered as both avoided shared stages. When asked about Kiss's Rock Hall nod in recent years, Ozzy reportedly quipped, "Awards don't mean shite. I've been rocking fans since they were sewing their costumes." This clash, pitting Ozzy's gritty authenticity against Kiss's showbiz flair, remains a metal legend, from Mötley Crüe's staged chaos to Kiss's theatrical excess. Ozzy Osbourne's feuds reveal a man devoted to heavy metal's truth. His savage honesty, whether slamming nu metal or rival pioneers, forged his legacy as metal's fiercest guardian. Which feud shocked you most? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell for more rock rivalries. Stay tuned for our next dive into music's wildest battles. You won't want to miss it.